Welcome back. Thom Hartmann here with you. Just a quick chronological summary of terrorist incidents in the United States, starting in 2008, San Juan, Puerto Rico, pipe bombing. Who perpetrated? I'll give you the city, the date, the city, the type, and the perpetrator. January 1980, San Juan, pipe bombing, anti-communist alliance. January 1980, New York, bombing Omega 7. There were three of them, actually. One in New York, one in Miami, one in San Juan. Hato Rey, Puerto Rico, armed assault. Ejecto Popular Barricas Machaderos, or whatever it is. Chicago, 380. Hostile takeovers. Armed Forces of National Liberation, 317, 1980. New York, bombing. Croatian freedom fighters, 325, 1980. New York, attempted bombing. Omega 7, 41980. Chattanooga, Tennessee, shooting. Justice Knights of the Ku Klux Klan, 430, 1980. New York, assault. Revolutionary Communist Party, 6-3, 1980. Washington, D.C., bombing. Croatian freedom fighters. Another one in New York. The same group, same day. Croatian freedom fighters. I mean, on and on it goes. It turns out that if you look at, I'm reading this from the FBI's website, the FBI database, and this is just like the first quarter of maybe 20 pages of lists of every single terrorist incident in the United States. They've broken it out in a pie chart. Latino groups represent 42%. Extreme left-wing groups, these are like Earth Now or whatever, represent 24%. Others are 16%. Jewish extremists, 7%. Communists, 5%. Islamic extremists, 6%. This from the FBI. Now, in the midst of this, we've got folks saying, oh, no. You've got to be very afraid just of the Muslims. A.W.R Hawkins, Ph.D., senior opinion editor and writer at the Alliance Defense Fund, visiting fellow with the Russell Kirk Center for Cultural Renewal, and a columnist with Pajamas Media is on the line. AWRHawkins.com is the website. Hey, should I call you AWR?
Yeah, that's fine, Tom.
So why are you so worried about Islamic extremism when I'm assuming that if you've looked into this topic at all, you're as familiar as I am, I can give you the most recent year, more than 80% of, in fact, just in the last 12 months, 87% of all the terrorist incidents in the United States were done by white Christians.
Yeah. Well, I would say you could take one event that happened on 9/11, and every event you've mentioned, you could total it. It wouldn't even come close to the number of people that the Islamists were successful.
But the guys who did that are dead.
They are, but the people who share in their ideology and their fervor are still alive and well.
But they're not successful. They're not as successful as the right-wing Christians who are killing people in this country.
They're hoping to continue.
So are the others. Why don't you attack all of them universally?
Well, because you have to go after it an ideology at a time. You know, to borrow some language, a friend of mine told me when we were talking about public speech, you shoot with a rifle, not a shotgun. I don't write an article that's going to be broad. I want it to be to a point, and the point was Islamism or Islamic fascism is a very dangerous thing. It attacks not simply with bombs and planes and knives. It attacks with ideas that are deadly to our culture.
If you look at the chronological summary of terrorist incidents in the United States, 1980 to 2005, on the FBI's website, fbi.gov, in the year 2005, the whole year for 2005, you had 5 successful attempts, right? One was an attempted arson and an arson by the Earth Liberation Front. That was in January in Auburn Creek, California. Another one in Sutter Creek, California. Another one in Sammamish, Washington. Arson in April by the Earth Liberation Front. July, Los Angeles, arson, animal rights extremists. September 16th, Los Angeles, arson, Animal Liberation Front. November, Hagerstown, Maryland, arson, Earth Liberation Front. These are all left-wing groups. These are not Islamic extremists. That's 2005. I go back to 2004, and now we get into Sean Michael Gillespie in Oklahoma City, the Aryan Nations. I mean, there's not a single Islamic one on this list for 2004. You look at 2003. I mean, do you want me to read you this stuff? I'm the one, you got to go back all the way to 2002 to July in Los Angeles to see the shooting by Hassan Mohammed Ali Haddad, to find a Muslim.
No, I'm with you, but the thing is, the groups you've mentioned, everyone knows that they're kooks. Everyone laughs at them the way you laugh at them.
You don't think that these people are kooks?
No one takes them seriously, but the Islamo-fascists have been able to make inroads using political correctness so that instead of approaching them with a fist of steel, we literally approach them with a velvet glove, except for where we're doing battle in Afghanistan and other places. Our military is second to none. They're taking it to them. But outside of those regions, we're too busy apologizing to meet them head on. You take Earth First or any of the other groups you mentioned, we all laugh at them. We meet them head on. But we don't do that with
A.W.R.
fascism.
A.W.R. When
Yes.
When Tim McVeigh bombed the Oklahoma federal building, he had read the Turner Diaries. I'm assuming you're familiar with the Turner Diaries.
No, I don't put much stock in McVeigh. I mean, he wasn't a Christian. And,
well, I'm not talking about Christians here. The Turner Diaries was a book that is read that is like the Bible to the Aryan Nation folks and the white separatists and the white power movement. And in the Turner, and it's a novel, and it's a major bestseller. It's like, Ayn Rand to the libertarians. It's the Bible of the movement that Tim McVeigh was part of. And in that book, a guy blows up a federal building in Oklahoma City, and the government takes him so seriously that they ban the ownership of guns nationwide, and they start rounding up anybody who's even remotely conservative, which is mostly white people. And as a result of that, the white people rise up and they kill off the African Americans, they kill off the Jews, they kill off the liberals, and they kill all the elected officials, and they end up with basically the white Aryan nations running the world. That's what Tim McVeigh thought was going to happen when he blew up the Oklahoma building. He thought that there would be an overreaction. Instead, Bill Clinton said, this guy's a kook. He's a nut. He's mentally ill. He's a criminal. We're going to track him down like a criminal. We're going to hold a trial for him in a court of law like a criminal, and we're going to execute him like a criminal, which is what they did, and his organization went nowhere. Meanwhile, you get another kook in Afghanistan, who the government of Afghanistan, Mullah Omar, said to George W. Bush, we will arrest Osama bin Laden and turn him over to a third country for trial if you would like. And George Bush said, no, thank you very much. And so you've got another kook over there who has, according to the CIA and the FBI, at the most 5,000 followers. Another fringe kook. And he and 19 of his buddies successfully pull off a terrorist attack. And George Bush, instead of saying this guy is a nut and laughing at him, as you just suggested should be done, George W. Bush said, oh, this guy's like Hitler. In other words, elevated him to the status of a major elected official of a major nation and declared war on him, giving him all kinds of legitimacy. What you're doing is giving legitimacy to these guys.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I hear you made my point for me. Timothy McVeigh was a nut. I didn't like Bill Clinton, but I agreed with him when he said that. That's why McVeigh doesn't even get a passing glance anymore. But as far as the Islamic fascists go, every time they commit an act, there's another one to take their place. They praise each other for blowing themselves up in public places. They praise each other for killing Jews and infidels and so on and so forth.
Might that be because we're occupying their lands? This
is apples to oranges here, comparing McVeigh and his Islamo-fascists.
No, I'm comparing the response. I'm saying that if George W. Bush had said Osama bin Laden is a criminal, let's call in Interpol and let's arrest him, the world would have been with us. The Muslim world would have been with us.
Because if you were right, when we killed Osama bin Laden a month or so ago, this war would have ended. But the war
it should have ended.
Because he was only one of many leaders, and he was one of one type of leader. And we will have to wipe out a number of these people before there can be peace.
A.W.R, if Canada invaded the United States, would you fight them?
If they invaded us?
Yeah. If they decided that Obama was from Kenya and they were going to liberate us, would you fight the Canadians?
Number one, they wouldn't do that. So we'd have to be sure they.
Hang on just a second.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
Okay, you got 10 seconds. You wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't
fight believe the media when they told me they had invaded.
Okay, all right. A.W.R, thanks a lot. AWRHawkins.com.